Yo, 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 it's Yoko here. We got some awesome, huge news from the New World dev team, AGS. So, we're just going to go through it, everything that's popping off, and things you need to know going forward. Tell your friends, tell your company, tell everybody, because big stuff is happening. So, for our first one, we have our New World Aeternum post launch dev update. That happened just today, a couple of hours ago, so we're getting right into it. Greetings, adventurers. Welcome to our first post launch New World Aeternum dev update. It's been a very exciting past week since the release of New World Aeternum, with so many new and returning players arriving on the island. Also, just a quick side note, they also have a video. I will link it down in the description of the channel or of this video. So if you like to watch it, you're more of an auditory person and you don't like my voice, it will be there. So, we have in today's updates, we're going to walk through what to expect from the future of New World Aeternum. We've been listening to players and we know how important it is for the community to be informed of and understand what is planned for the game. Very true. We love this stuff. We're excited to share a first look at what is coming down the road in the near term, but also we want to be transparent about some of the exciting content that's a little further out. I dig that massively. We've heard you loud and clear, and we've been thinking hard about how we delivered updates and give more visibility into not only what the team is actively working on, but also what is in early development. Even some of our very early ideas that we've exploring in the studio. So they're opening up the curtains. They say, "Hey y'all can see everything. You might not like what you hear, but you're gonna hear it." To that end, we are releasing a new roadmap format that we are calling a living roadmap. Our goal with the living roadmap is to keep our players informed as much as we can along the way, specifically covering three categories of feature development. Next season, which is going to be the short term, what is coming in the next seasonal update. In development, midterm, what is in active development and will be coming in upcoming seasons. These items will not necessarily be available in the immediate next season, but within a season or two. So that's pretty quick. That's about, 6 months or so. And then they have the in exploration. Ideas the dev team is discussing or exploring. These are features we've heard from players would be exciting for them or that we just think would be a good addition to the game. Some might move into in development, some might fall off altogether if they are determined to not be feasible or are no longer of interest to our players. But we want to show what we are investigating here in the studio. There's a lot of information here to digest, and we will keep refining this process as we go. We look forward to your thoughts. So, quick side note on this. That is a huge thing, is plans change. Plans change. Even if they're on the midterm or the short term, plans change. I think us as a player base, we have to understand it's a business. It's a lot of moving pieces, and even though you may be very passionate about your idea and they might be exploring their idea, they might even start being in development of the idea. Ideas change, plans change, and we also have to be open to that. We change our minds all the time. People say if New World sucks and I hate it, and guess what, they were right here on the fresh start with me. So let's get into it. First one, we have our next season, season 7. We have seasonal worlds PvP. What this is going to be about is going to be seasonal worlds is going to be a separate server from the server you're currently playing on. And for what they were talking about is going to be strictly PvP, hardcore, kind of like a Rust type of thing where you're grinding out gear, you go out, you're fighting people, and if you die, you drop your gear, you drop your weapons, you drop everything. So it's really full loop PvP really. So if you vibe with that, that's going to be a grand old time. If not, just stay away from the seasonal world. Our next one, we have our new OPR map preview. This is going to be a separate thing. It's going to be a preview of it, just as they are fine-tuning the app, or excuse me, the map. They will give us a chance to play it and kind of give our thoughts so they can do what they want with the feedback, maybe correct it, maybe add more things, take things away, etc. We also have mutated expedition upgrades, M3 matchmaking, new rewards, and unified mutations. Here they were saying they're going to put mutation 3 into the matchmaking because it is getting hard for some people to find matches, because it's sometimes your server just isn't about the PvP life. I know that's how ours with our my server is with the raids. You have to freaking pay people 10,000 gold to do a raid run. Crazy stuff. They're also upping the rewards, so it starts being more of an incentive to do these harder level dungeons. And they also unified the mutations. That way you don't have to keep trying to reslot gems and do all this inconvenience to then run the higher end mutations. It's going to be the same as M2 and M1. That way they streamline it and it's just more difficult. Next one is new daily solo trials. This one, I think they said they have the Empress and they're adding Isabel and maybe a third one. I can't remember the third one, but new trial, no solo trials for my solo dolo players. Go ahead and get out of it, bust some heads. Next one is combat balance updates. They're saying this one is happening every season. And we've already kind of gotten a glimpse of that with the hatchet, but we'll see which other combat changes they are going to put in. That's going to be a very interesting one, and generally is going to be one it has the hottest topic. Another one is new artifacts and perks. Again, this is under the parentheses every season, so we're getting new artifacts and new perks every season, which is I'm all for, because we need things to start changing up the meta, because everybody running the same stuff, it's not as fun, you know? You have to kind of think, craft, and counterplay things, but when only so many builds are, viable, it kind of makes it kind of a stalemate. Next one is seasonal events and world bosses. We already been checking this out. We had the Halloween event. We're on Turkalong right now. Then we have the winter solstice one, summer medley. We have a bunch of seasons coming up. So more seasons, the merrier. I like them. I really like the world bosses. I thought the Halloween world boss was A1. Turkalong is cool, but honestly, it's kind of easy, TBH. All right, moving into our mid in development. This is going to be about 6 months plus, maybe 8 months to a year. This one is new seasonal world. So it's going to kind of piggyback off of this seasonal world here. It's going to be the territory system improvements. That is going to be the pretty much the territory system improvements. You know what that is. It's the systems and the territories. Come on now. Next, we have in-game progression and improvements. This is going to be cross-character progression, including seasonal worlds, wraparound XP, and umbrals. We also have crafting improvements, which I think is a huge one. I know I missed one up top. We're going to get to that one right here too. But the crafting improvements is really big. They're saying they want to give some more to the crafters. So the people who necessarily aren't trying to do the hardest dungeons or get active in PvP, they have something that they feel like they're playing a part and they can see progress happening in their own field. And if that field is crafting, let them get it. Next one, we have our pickup wars. This one I'm actually very excited for, because how they were describing it in the video is pretty much saying that they want wars to be more accessible to everybody and not just the ruling companies on your servers. So they're saying they're thinking of a way to have pickup wars where you can kind of go and practice wars and have like mock war runs pretty much, and still enjoy the whole concept of a war without actually battling for a territory, which I think is huge, because we had a war. We did our first war, and a lot of our players were inexperienced on wars, so we got waxed up. And I think this is a way to kind of help new and upcoming companies kind of find their footing and practice and actually feel like they stand a chance to the people who are very organized and have been playing for time and time again, or new companies that hop over to servers. I'm talking to you, moppers, and so on and so forth. Next up, we have new PvP modes. This one is interesting. This one paired with the new mode of maps, because how they were talking about it, it sounds like cool stuff, but I'm curious if they're gonna rotate, because too many modes also split up your player base, and that could be a problem, and that's a problem they actually acknowledged. So I'm curious on how they're going to go about it. They were saying maybe a battle royale mode, maybe a capture the flag mode, a lot of different things that I think could actually vibe well with the game. Next one here, we have our invasion difficulties. This is another cool piece of content that I don't think a lot of people get to do, but it is a PvE content. It is generally when you're protecting your territories and making sure they don't get downgraded. When they get downgraded, this is because they failed the invasion. But they're talking about adding new corrupted and maybe making it more of an instance kind of dungeon where they could add a lot more layers to the invasion difficulty to want more players to bring in and actually have a fun, challenging PvE mode. Next one, we have in-game rewards and system improvements. This one, they're saying they're all launching head first on in-game content. They said the beginning and the middle game feel good. They like where it's at. So now they want to go in-game, level it up, get the rewards, get the systems, get everything as immersive and in-depth as possible to keep the players coming back time and time again. For our next one, invasion mode with matchmaking. This one's huge. So this is one, it's going to be almost like a pickup war. We can actually able to do horde-based invasion modes just with a good group of people and matchmake into it, so you don't have to find your whole group of 50 or 20, however many they're going to choose to do, and you can just kind of find it. Hopefully it's cross servers, but who knows, they didn't really go into depth on that. This one, global storage. They mentioned that storages have already kind of become more accessible, but they're thinking about taking it a step further where all of your storage is going to pretty much be, or all your items are going to be in one storage, which I'm a little bit mixed on, because I do like to sort my things where I'm like, hey, I have my ore and stone and all of my rocky type of material over in Monarch's Bluff. I have my arcane material over in Reekwater. That may put a stop in that type of delegation of items. I don't know if anybody else does like that. I do, and I enjoy it. But we'll see how that one plays out. I mean, honestly, it won't be a huge big of a deal. I'm not tripping about it, but it is something I like to do. Next, we have in-game reputation systems, and then we have barbershop, which kind of snuck under the radar because I'm trying to change up my character a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And this is the long term. Here we have new weapons, which, man, I'm waiting for some daggers, bro. I want daggers. And they said what was cool about the new weapons is they said they're working on multiple weapons, so they're gonna start dropping new weapons more periodically in like good intervals, and not, I think it's been like what, a year. When did the last one we got? Is the flail? So I was like about a year ago. Yeah. Next one we have ranked PvP, which I think is huge. Give me cool emblems, give me titles to chase, and make ranked PvP a thing. I think it's a good way to keep and give them space, as like if PvP content runs dry, ranked PvP will keep you in the mix for a time, for so long, pretty much just for so long. Every game does it. Rocket League is my best example. That game's the same game, hasn't changed a damn thing, but that ranked is money. Next up we have raids. They definitely need new raids. Gorgon is a huge success. I mean, I think people love Gorgon more than freaking their mothers. Everybody's playing Gorgon. They're selling Gorgon runs. That's how much people are liking it. So why not make more of them? Next up, we have procedural expeditions with extractions. I think this one could be super cool too. Having expeditions, not knowing how they're going to play out. I think this would be a really good idea if they made the expedition kind of like a labyrinth run. Or not a labyrinth run, but make it like a labyrinth where like the pathways and what you have to do keep changing, and it'll kind of keep you on your toes. And the extraction part is even better because give you that intensity, that sweat down your back. See if you can get it out and get out with all your good goodies. Next one, we have raid difficulty levels. This is going to be similar to how expeditions have mutations. I think that would be a cool thing too. If they make a good raid, why not, give new mechanics, new difficulties, new ways to play it for the players. I think one of the best examples of this is Starstone. When you do a mutated one, you go into army and excavation, which I thought that was a very creative way to do that. Next up, we have new PvE modes. We have territory system overhaul, which I'm also curious how this is going to go along with the territory system improvements. This is kind of a vague topic, so we'll see just how it plays out. And this stuff is all subject to change, so I'm not too stressed about it. Influence tower claim and siege systems with buildings. That would be cool. Maybe kind of like an Ash of Creation type of thing. We can actually build things in there to escalate your defenses. In-game rewards and systems overhaul. Need that. All instance content available in matchmaking. I think we definitely need this. I think it's just hard sometimes to find stuff in matchmaking. And it's hard to get people in your server, especially if you're in a server that's dying quicker than others. You're out of luck. New zone and zone up levels. So zone up levels is kind of what they did to Cutlass. Changed up the zone, refreshed it, added a PvP area. They plan on doing that with the next zone is going to be Reekwater, because when the game first came out, they had a certain path for it. But now that Reekwater isn't really getting touched, I don't know how many people on your server is going to Reekwater. My server, that thing's a ghost town, yo. But they're going to up level it and make it more of an in-game content area so people have a reason to go and explore and pursue different challenges in that area. Along with that, they're also putting in new zones like Brimstone, where this is a whole new zone altogether with most of these zones sounds like they're all going to be in-game, just because we're all going to be in-game. But they said they have some fun stuff crafting up, so I'm excited to see that. Company hall with storage. I think this would be super good with companies, just to give your company a little more oomph and to feel a little more united in a shared space with companies. I also hope they add like company housing. I think that would be super dope. Or like a mansion each territory has. So if you own it, you get to like stay in your mansion with your company. That'd be dope. And new trade skills. This is also a super good one. I hope they add more of these. And another idea, I think adding trade skills, I think adding like many like puzzle games or something with trade skills to add the skill aspect of it would be a good idea. I'm also probably gonna make a whole video about ideas I have, just because I would like to be a part of just throw out stuff and maybe they get it, maybe they don't. But just a way to give my ideas, because some of my ideas I think they're fun and they're cool. So hopefully they like them. Next up, we have the again, you have the video here that you can go ahead and watch it if you like to watch it. You don't want to hear me ramble. And then we have the Season 7 coming up, with Season 7 launching in January, right at the new year. Introduce seasonal worlds with PvP focus, more daily solo trials, and update to mutated expeditions, and a preview for a new Outpost Rush map. All this is pretty much the stuff I was going over. Balance updates will come. Mainly adjustments weapons like the blunderbuss and hatchet. Blunderbuss, bruh, this cat right here is piecing people up, and I hate it. I might start using it though. We'll see. New artifacts, super hyped about. Seasonal events, all the fun stuff. So that's pretty much all of the goodies that are happening in New World in the coming months to the year. Let me know your thoughts. If you listen to the video, what is something you're the most excited for? Tell me some of your good ideas that you have, and maybe they might see it in the comments. Who knows? But as always, thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you're having a good rest of the day. Happy holidays to my people who are celebrating Thanksgiving. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.